So very good morning to all. I welcome you all for this channel. So in this class, let us have a discussion of computer networks basic fundamentals. So in this presentation, we are going to cover what is the definition of computer networks and how the data are transferred through the transmission medium, and then which are all the transmission networking components are available, and how the resources are shared among the various networking components. So now let us move on to the class. So the first one is a definition for the computer networks. So as you know that it's a collection of computers are connected together in order to access or in order to share some kind of exchange of informations. So that's the main objective behind that. So the main objective is the sharing of resources. So that is the thing. That's the first point. Because we can have a number of devices. If you have only one resource, then if it is connected through the LAN, or it may be a WAN network, or it may be a metropolitan area network, then we can do all the resource sharing process. So what is meant by resource? We may have a doubt on that. So from the beginning itself, sir, you talk about resource. What is mean that resource? So resource is a, for example, printer, file is also one of the resource, database is also one of the resource. So that is a one small example is in the laboratory you can assume that you have a 30 number of machines and we have only one printer. So if any one user they want to take a printout, if it is connected through the LAN network, then only it is possible to take a printout. So that is a resource sharing process will be carried out in the networking. So another one more important point is the computer networks, it also uses the distributed processing. So that is assigning the task to the various systems. So if the size of the task is very huge, then we can divide the task into number of smaller subtasks and assign it to the individual PCs. The individual PCs, it will do some kind of computations and it will provide the result. So all those things, it will consolidate it together and finally we are getting the complete results. So that is a distributed processing which is also supported by the computer networks. Okay, now let us discuss about the various kind of components we are using in the computer networks. So these are all the various components are there. The network interface card, hub, switches, modem, routers, cables and connectors. So these are all the various components, important components of networking. So now let us discuss in a detailed manner of each and every components in this presentation. The first one is a network interface card. So in this diagram you can see that is an outlook picture of your network interface card. So without this NIC card, it is not possible to make the internet connection. That's a LAN connection between the number of machines in the network. So in this diagram, you can see that it may be a wired transmission medium. If you are using that is a Ethernet, your network interface card will be look like this. If you are using the wireless modem, wireless LAN networks, if you are using means, then you can your interface card will be look like this. Okay, so that is a main thing. And another one more important point is NIC is a device which helps the computer to communicate with another device. Yeah, so that's an important point. And another one more point is the network interface card, it contains the hardware addresses. So normally we can call it as it's a NAT Ethernet address. So the data link layer, it uses the address to identify the system on the networks. Okay. So as we have already discussed earlier, it may be a wired NIC or otherwise it may be a wireless network interface card. Now let us discuss about the hub. Hub is one of the networking components. The main purpose is hub we are using as a central device that it splits the network connection into multiple devices. So you can see that in this diagram there will be a number of ports are there in a hub. So the number of systems LAN cables, it will be connected with this kind of ports. So what is the actual role of this hub is it will support the broadcasting of datas. So for example, in the hub there are 10 number of machines are connected. So the hub, it will perform the broadcasting function. Broadcasting, it means that the one to many connectivity. The datas are exchanged in one to many format, not in one to one or one to particular group of nodes. That is a multicasting. So the hub which will support the broadcasting the data in the networks. So it will send the request to the hub will distribute this request to all. Then there are two types of hubs are there. One is the active hub and the second one is a passive hub. So what the active hub it do means it will receive the data and it will repeat and strengthen the incoming data transmission, and it will involve in a forwarding process of a data. So we can also call it as a repeater. So normally repeater it will do the regeneration of signal. So if anyone asks about what is meant by hub, then hub is one of the networking component. You have to say that it's a networking component. It connects the number of machines within the network, and it involves in the broadcasting functions. And another one more function, it may be a passive hub or it may be an active hub. If it is an active hub means it will receive the data and regenerate the data, or otherwise we can say it as a strengthen the incoming data and it will forward to the receiver. If it is a passive hub means it simply forward the data without any kind of additional capabilities. It won't increase the it won't strengthen the quality of a signal. And the next networking component is a switch. So switch in this diagram you can see that there will be a number of ports are there as like our hub, and switches there are nowadays there are up to 24 port switches is also available. So previously 8 port switch, 16 port switch was there. Now 24 port switch is also available. Okay, and all the switches they have if it is based on the size of the organization, so all the switches will be keep it on the stack, that's the server stack, and they are maintaining it. So switch is also one of the networking component. It is best suitable for making the LAN connection. Okay, that is a main important point. And another one more thing is it won't support the broadcasting as like your hub. Okay, that is another one more important point. And it increases the speed of the networks. So by compared to hub, it increases the speed of the networks, and it supports unicasting and multicasting. So if someone have asked about what is the difference between the hub and switches means, you have to strongly say that the hub it will support the broadcasting, but the switches it will support unicasting and multicasting. Okay, and the other properties are similar. So it will make a connectivity among various devices in the networks. Now let us have a discussion of the hub and switches. So while if any experts from the computer networks, if they want to know about what is the skill level of yours, then they may ask the query like that: what is the difference of hub and switch? So hub it will function in the physical layer, but the switch it operates on the data link layer. So and hub it will perform the half duplex, the switch it performs the full duplex communication. As we have already discussed about simplex, half duplex and full duplex communication, mode of communication. Simplex means that is a one-to-one communication will be there, and if it is a half duplex communication, each and every node within the network it can transmit the data and receive the data, but not simultaneously. If it is a full duplex communication, both sending and receiving process will be carried out at the same time also. That is a full duplex communication. And well, the switch is an active device, but the hub is a passive device. So but in the type of hub we have already seen that is an active hub. It will perform the regeneration function of a weakened signal. Hub is lower, but that is for example 10 Mbps or 100 Mbps maximum level it will support, but the switch it will support up to 100 Gbps. Okay, so that is a difference. That is the speed of the data transmission is more, and simplex and there is a half duplex and full duplex communication, and the layer in which it functions will be vary. Okay, fine. Now let us move on to the important topic, that is the cables or transmission medium we are using in a computer networks. The first important thing is the twisted pair cable. Nowadays the most of the peoples they are not using the twisted pair cable, and in our home itself we have moved on to the fiber optical cable. That is in our, if you have an internet connection in your home, you are using the fiber optical, that is a cable for network connections, Airtel or Jio, whatever it may be. And now let us know about the twisted pair cable, coaxial cable and fiber optical cable functionalities. The twisted wire cable is just like a copper cable, which is mainly used for in our PC, in our home very long back. We can, if we have a LAN connections, and through the LAN connection we can have a this twisted wire cable connectivity with your computers. So through which we can also make a voice call, at the same time we can involve in a data transmission. Okay. So what is the main use of this twisted wire cable is it will reduce the crosstalk and electromagnetic induction between the pair of wires. It should be insulated. So if there is a wire, so here in this diagram you can see that there will be a copper cable. So within the copper cable there will be a number of the insulation process they have carried out. So here you can see this diagram. So the this twisted pair cable, it consists of, these are all the various parts of your twisted pair cable. So twisted pair cable, normally there are 4 color wires will be there, was there, and it is blue color. That's each and every twisted pairs are twisted very tightly. So it may be a blue color, orange color, green color, or brown color in um, wires are there. And so all the wires are twisted very tightly, and by using the RJ45 jack, the based on the color combinations, they are using the R5 connectors, so through which it can be connected with your individual port of your, it may be a switch or hub we are using. Okay, so there is a connectivity, there will be a two-end connectivity was there. So that is a, in your machine there is a one connection, and in your telephone or otherwise a modem you can have another one more connection. Okay, so that is a actual twisted pair cable functionalities. So here through this twisted pair cable, it will support the voice communication as well as the data transmission. Then the next one is a coaxial cable. The coaxial cable will be look like this format. So in our home usually we are using the cable TV connection. We are using the coaxial cable. So while we have, by using the knife or something, if we cut that coaxial cable, we can see such a kind of interior parts. That's it can have a center conductors, and then after that it is insulating layers are there, and there will be another conducting shield was there. Then outside sheath is also, that is normally we can call it as a jacket. So it will protect your internal parts from the outside environment or environmental things damages. So these are all that some that's it is normally the coaxial cable, it is made up of the aluminum and the copper shield with the outer plastic jacket. Okay, so it is also mainly suitable for avoiding the noise or otherwise some kind of electromagnetic radiations. It is shielded properly, and by compared to twisted pair cable it is more expensive, and it provides higher transmission speed. So that is a main advantage by compared to twisted pair cable. So that's why only the people they go move on from twisted pair cable to coaxial cable. Okay, now let us move on to the another type of cable which is very important nowadays. We are using at the maximum places the fiber optical cable. That is it's a high speed cable which is mainly used for transmitting the data, is in the form of light beam format. It is very important. By compared to other twisted pair cable or coaxial cable, all the data are transferred is in the form of optical signal format. So while we are sending, so before the functionality of individual fiber optical cable, let us have a what will be the parts of that fiber optical cable. So your fiber optical cable will look like this. So here there will be a there are a lot of color cables are combined together within the single cable, large size cable, and that is a, it can have a, if you have taken one cable, there will be a core portion, cladding portion which is surrounded by the core, and then there will be a coating, then strength members, then outer jacket was there. So actually all the signals, as you know that the signals are transferred is in the form of light beam format. So it can be transferred through the core portion only. So if any kind of light signals is reflected, so the cladding portions, it will reflect that particular light beam signal into again to the core portion. So the cladding, it will be around that your core portion. If any kind of light beam signal during the data transmission is happen, then it will again reflected back to the core. So through which we can easily avoid the loss of the signals. So that's the thing. So that's why only the optical principle they have given us a total internal reflection. Yeah. So it is mainly used to capture the light transmitted in an optical fiber and confine the light to the core of the fiber. Okay. So that is an important point. That's why only we are using that fiber optical cable at maximum places in our society. Now let us have a discussion of another one more networking component, that is a router. What is meant by router? Router is a device which is mainly used to connect the LAN to the network, internet. LAN to the internet. That's the thing. So usually all the individual PCs within the LAN network which is connected by a switches. Switch only can connect with the routers. So router can route if we have a in the network layer, if you have a two number of routers, we can confirmly we can say that there will be a two number of networks are there. The network, one network can communicate with another network through the routers only it is possible. So in the next presentation I will give the layout of networking scenario, so through which you can easily understand what will be the flow of the messages or data are passing from one network to another network. Okay. So the router main objective is forward the packet based on the information available in the routing table. So what is meant by routing table? What is the use of routing table? So normally each and every router we are maintaining the routing table. It covers, it contains the source address, destination address of the packet, then what is the cost value and what is the next hop value. So it denotes that the link between the more than one devices are connected or are specified in terms of weighted value format. That is a weighted value we have assigned it for the individual link between the two devices. Okay, so that is a cost value. So next hop it denotes that in between the source and destination how many number of intermediate nodes are present. That is a next hop value. Yeah, that's a next hop. That's a first one is a sender. In between the sender and receiver, if you assume that there are three number of intermediate nodes are available, the sender one, that is a router table, it will denote the what is the next hop value, what is the next intermediate node address, that will be stored in a next hop entry in of the routing table. Okay, so that is a through which the packet can easily move on to that particular intermediate nodes. And the another one more important objective is finding the best path. So there is a number of lot of paths are there between source and destination. We have to choose the best path for packet transmission successfully. There won't be any kind of traffic was there, and there won't be any kind of congestion or losses of data are there. So these are all the some kind of important features of a routers. So if anyone have asked about what is meant by router, the router which is mainly used for making connectivity among various devices, and it supports for forwarding the packet from one device to another device, and it is suitable for doing the best route selection process in the networking. And modem. So the next networking component is a modem. As you know that the modem is a hardware device which is used to make a connectivity among more than one systems which is available on our internet. And modem is not integrated with the motherboard, rather than it is installed on the PCI slot which is available on your motherboard. So here the normally in the modem it will perform the modulation and demodulation function. So it converts the digital data into analog signal over the telephone line. So these are all the normal functions of modem. So modem it performs the modulation and demodulation, analog signal to digital or digital to analog signal conversion, which is carried out by the modem. Okay, now let us discuss about what is the use of computer networks. So resource sharing, as we have already enough discussed about the resource sharing process along with one example. I hope everyone can understand. And the next one is a client server model. So usually in the network, the client is a server and client both are the devices, but but the configuration wise or specification wise, the server is good by compared to client. So when the client is responsible for always giving the request to the server will provide a response. So the request, it may be in order to get some files from the server or database from the server, or otherwise some kind of web pages from the server. So likewise, based on the request we are passing, the server functionalities will be vary. Then the next one is a communication medium. We have discussed about the different kinds of mediums we are using. About wired medium we have discussed. So through which, in addition to that, the wireless medium is also available. And the another use of computer networks is the e-commerce. It is mainly expressly used for the e-commerce applications, electronic commerce applications. So for example, nowadays most of the people's we are not interested to go to shop and buy the products. So all the products we can order through the digital format. It may be a Flipkart or Amazon. We are choosing the product. We are checking the we are not the except we are not touching the product. We are verifying all the features of a products. It may be a mobile phone, or it may be it may be a dresses or sports items, whatever it may be. We are choosing the products. We are checking the features of a products. Just we are ordering. We are these are all the things, the amount payment and all the process we have carried out from our home, from our place itself. So that is a, by means of the computer networks evolvement only it is possible, it was possible. Yeah, so these are all the some kind of uses of computer networks. I hope everyone have enjoyed this session. And in the next upcoming videos, let us have a discussion of various topologies available in the computer networks, and what will be the advantages and disadvantages of each and every topologies in the computer networks. So I hope everyone can understand, and if you have any kind of queries or doubts, you can comment it. And thank you for your support always. So let us meet in the next video lectures. Thank you.